out there, everybody? This is Geekset Radio. Once again, we're back in your ears with another show. My name is Judd. As always, I'm with my main man, Danny.
What's up, people? Danny, a.k.a. Newark Hip Hop.
And on the other side of the table, we got a guest today, my homeboy Princeton. What up, dog?
What up, man? Prince Bama.
Alright, y'all. There you have it. So, like always, we're going to rock off with our tech segment. A lot of stuff this week, guys. A lot of events. Everybody's flexing their muscles now. But mostly everybody's flexing their muscle because of Apple. So the iPhone 5 event, September 12th. A lot of rumors floating around there. A lot of bullshit going on around there. Y'all think Apple's going to finally crush the buildings this time? Or
It's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. September 12th. We have the what everybody pretty much knows is the iPhone 5 announcement happening in San Francisco. And that's, pretty much that's the reason why everybody else, Nokia, Motorola, Amazon, they all got their events ahead of this time, because it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I mean, the product itself, we're getting an iPhone 5. There's been a bunch of leaks about it. It's pretty much, it's a little bit thinner, larger screen. It's going to be a quad-core, rumored LTE. That's not definite. But, whenever Apple drops anything, it's madness.
Prince, what do you think about this?
Yep, we'll get the iPhone 5. The public will probably get iOS 6 popping off, so that'll get pushed out to the current iPhone 4S and 4s and iPad minis, and I think I read something about maybe some new iPods too. Eventually, though.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel. I think Apple now, I feel like they are playing catch up, but I think now's the time for them to do, if there were ever a time for them to do some crazy shit and really reel their customers back in, I think now's the perfect time to do it.
Well, that's not even their model. I don't think they're going to go that crazy with it. Like, then I'd even be surprised if they announced the iPad mini. I mean, like Prince just said, we're definitely going to get the iPhone 5, the new iOS, and maybe a revamped of the iPod lines. But I'd be surprised if we get anything too crazy. Some craziness could be maybe an Apple TV, but I haven't heard any rumors of that for now. But yeah, it's going to be this iPhone 5. It's going to come through. Price drops all around for the 4S, and maybe possibly they're probably going to drop the 4 down to free, the 4S down to $99. And I mean, with specs, like I said before, the big deal with this is a new screen. I know at one point they were talking about that all liquid metal casing, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen now. It's going to be pretty much the body we've seen, maybe elongated a bit for the screen.
Yeah, I think they really need to, if anything above all else, they need to have a bigger screen on there. Because that 3.5 ain't rocking.
Yeah, they're probably going to take a 4, maybe 4 or 5 something, if that.
They're also going to completely just drop off that 3GS, which I didn't even know they were still selling. But
yeah, the minute was giving that shit away, I think. Like, damn near.
Just going to stop that altogether. And I anticipate they'll probably come out with some new accessories too, because this new dock connector is popping off. So.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people actually pissed off about that. Because a lot with if I'm not wrong, from like the 4 to the 4S, you could use a lot of the adapters or whatnot. But for this, they're gonna throw in a whole new dock connector and pins and whatnot. So it's like a whole new line of accessories to come with it.
Yeah, I always heard rumors, like, you remember that rumor that was floating around a couple months ago that they were going to move from their, I think it's like a 16-pin connector that they have now to the micro USB, but I'm like, man, that's not even their steez to try and do something, universal, even if it is convenient for everybody. That's not their, that's not their MO.
They ain't going to do that. I know they're switching the connectors. I mean, the one thing I'll give Apple is, they have some of the illest accessories.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that.
Yeah, they always
come correct with that shit.
That's support from manufacturers and stuff, because they know the money's gonna roll in from this. And yeah, again, with this new line of accessories comes a new line of clone accessories, which people are gonna be selling all over the place. But yeah, like we said back at the beginning, man. As far as the phone itself, I wouldn't expect nothing revolutionary. I mean, for some of us, it's not gonna be revolutionary. But for some people, a little bigger screen and LTE is going to be like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, I don't think it's going to have LTE, but it would be crazy if they found some way to get a quad core in that bitch.
Oh, I think that's one for sure thing. I think they have to come with a quad core at least.
Right. But I mean, I think the thing is, it's one or the other. I mean, and we can kind of touch on that in a little bit. you know. And also, there's no LTE, so I think like people, especially on Verizon, are really starting to flock towards the Droid line because of the LTE speeds. You know, you're basically stuck on fucking 3G on Verizon if you have an iPhone.
Quad core. They have the A6 now processor in there, right? Isn't it?
Something like that.
It's the A6, and I think they're bumping it up to the A9, which is the quad core. That's a must. I mean, they just can't come out here and give people a 1-inch bigger screen with same processor, no LT. I mean,
shit, they done it before though. Look at the 3G to the 3GS. It was pretty much the same fucking phone with like a little bit faster processor, and you can record videos.
And I mean, I want to say people are gonna be pissed off, but only really tech savvy people might be pissed off. The average consumer is gonna think, "Oh my God, it's a totally brand new iPhone," when it's pretty much about 90 to 80% the same. So, let's see.
I mean, well, now you got people that were fucking ride or die Apple, users. They're starting to jump ship. The Galaxy S3 really came through and crushed the building so far as crossover. And people are like, man, fuck this. I can't do anything with this anymore. So they jumped over to the dark side, so to speak. and I think this is going to be Apple's way to try and get some of their customers back. But I see it doing numbers, but I just, like you said, Danny, I don't see it making a huge impact.
Yeah, trust me, I tried not to be a hater with this phone. I tried not so hard. I got research, and I can't really find a reason that people would sell their iPhone 4S outright and go cop this.
Yeah.
Or unless they're like due for an upgrade.
Right.
See them going to cop it. But as far as them trying to sell their shit on like eBay or this and then go cop this new one, I don't see a big reason to do that.
It's gonna be like the same people that, just what are they calling them? People that cop kicks all the time, hype beasts.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the same people.
Exactly.
They're the same people that have. And I mean, I'm not trying to take a shit on Apple users because I've done that enough when they come with their fake ass facts. But it's always people that have the whole ecosystem. Like we talk about it all the time. It's like they've got the MacBooks, they got the iPad, they got the iPod touches, and they got the iPhone. Like they just want everything to be new because they're just normal consumers. They think that new automatically equals better. And Apple does such a great job at their marketing that they make you think like, oh, look, it's new, it's gonna be better. When in reality, it's really not.
And Apple has to come strong, man, because Samsung, they sold 20 million S3s in 100 days. In 100 days. I mean, 10 million in a month. But people are going to laugh at me if I say this, but I don't think this new iPhone is going to move that much. Unless it comes out with some, we've heard a bunch of rumors. So there's no wow factor like I called it last week. So I doubt this thing will be able to move that many units in 100 days.
Yeah, let's not forget though, we're going to talk on all this stuff a little later in the show, but it's going to be a hot ass winter. You got all these Windows 8 devices popping out. You got the whole Droid line that actually looks pretty decent. And then the Note 2 is coming out, and that's really going to fucking wreck shit, I think.
And that's we're expecting a new Nexus too. Google said they're going to drop a couple of new Nexus devices around winter time. So
yeah, us tech heads are going to be eating good this winter. Definitely. We're definitely going to be going. So, I kind of touched on it a second ago with the Droid line. Motorola came out with their new event. I don't know if it really deserved to have a press conference or whatever, but actually, I don't really mind the line. I like what they're trying to do.
I mean, they had to do this because, again, the publicity is going to come out now, and the marketing campaign with this iPhone 5 is going to be huge. So even if this necessarily didn't deserve one, they had to do it. And for those that don't know, Motorola earlier this week had a press conference. They announced a whole new line of Razr phones, which to me is genius because me and Judd have spoke about it a couple of times before about starting a line and marketing it. Samsung has the Galaxy line, Apple has their own line, there's the Nexus line, and the Droid Razr phones, I mean, especially with the one that just launched, I believe it was last year, the Razr Max. Thinnest smartphone ever. The battery life is insane. So Motorola, they're riding off of this, and now that they're owned by Google, they're pretty much going even harder off of this. And they launched 3 phones. We got the Razr M, the Razr HD, and the Razr HD Max. Which really, those last 2, I'm still trying to figure out why, because they pretty much have, I mean, there's such minimal differences in them that they didn't need to launch a whole new phone for them, but they sure much. Again, I'm looking down the specs right now, and the only big difference I see is that the Razr Max has a 32 gigabyte capacity, and it's allegedly supposed to have better battery, but I'm trying to get down to the battery. I think the battery, if I'm looking at the battery specs, oh yeah, it does. It has a bigger battery. So that's the difference between the Razr Max and the Razr HD. Bigger.
It's got a 3,300 milliamp hour battery, which is fucking insane.
That's insane. But what's crazy about this, the star of this one, the one I've been reading the most about, is the Razr M, which is the smallest one. Because for the price, $99 with a new 2-year contract, I have no idea how much it is off contract. And that one, that one's actually.
Verizon setting them prices. They're like,
that one's actually available now. That one's available now. But the specs you're getting for that one's pretty good. I mean, dual core, 1 gigabyte RAM, 8 gigabytes of upgradable storage, 4.3 inch Super AMOLED screen, and this screen has the according to them, the thinnest bezel of any phone out right now. This is the alleged edge-to-edge screen that they were talking about. I mean, the whole phone, even the feel, it's a 1080p video recording. It's all high-quality specs for $99. Almost makes you want to look over and jump to Verizon.
Almost. Almost. Them prices is a little rough.
Yeah, they are.
But I mean, Prince, what do you think about the whole Razr line? You think this is Motorola making a muscle move, or you think they're just kind of doing it to stay afloat?
Yeah, it's time for them to come out with something new. I really don't see I don't see the point of the mid spec when they're just the regular Razr HD.
Yeah.
I feel like I think the only reason people would choose that over the Max is it's a little bit thinner. I don't know how much thinner. I haven't seen them in person yet, but it's a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter.
I wonder how much the price is going to be difference between the HD and the HD Max. That might be the key there.
I think they also dropped them at the same time because last time people got pissed.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, the Max came out. They're like,
I mean, but that's kind of a sucker move, though. You release a phone, and then what was it, like 2-3 months later, you release another phone with like double the battery?
Yeah, they did.
That's some whole shit right there. But I mean, spec-wise, these aren't bad, and I think the screens are a little bit better. But I know, like, people that got, like, the Bionic and stuff, they're mad because I don't even think they got ICS yet. And that was Motorola's thing, though. Like, everybody really shits on Motorola because their updates were so bad because of Moto Blur. But, and that's why I've been, like, clamoring for the last, like, 2 months for a Moto Nexus device. Because Motorola has great hardware, and also worth mentioning is that they switched, because up until now, they were using the Texas Instruments processor, the OMAP. And now they've got the S4, which is made by Qualcomm, the Snapdragon. So I wonder if that's going to make any difference in performance and or battery.
I mean, I've never heard any, honestly, with these phones, I've never heard any complaints from them. I've only heard nothing but good as far as the battery on them. Crazy battery. Really haven't heard any complaints about Moto Blur. A couple of reviews I read about the Razr M so far, like Moto Blur has actually been toned down. They're coming with ice cream.
It used to be really bad when they had the what was that phone they had, the Click?
Yeah.
That shit was god awful.
Yeah, they toned it down on this though, and they're all coming, like you said, they're all coming with ice cream sandwich, allegedly getting Jelly Bean pretty quick. And now, now that Google's behind holding the ropes over there, I wouldn't be surprised if this is true. I don't understand why it's not launching with Jelly Bean right away. I don't know if these phones were in development prior to Google buying them out or whatever, but
that still shouldn't be any excuse though.
Yeah, but I mean, ice cream sandwich isn't. No, I mean, at least it's ice cream sandwich.
True.
At least it isn't something further behind. And Google's been on the ball. I mean, all these companies have been on the ball as far as upgrading to Jelly Bean. I've read at least 3 or 4 phones. I know one of the Nexuses, I think it was a Sprint Nexus, got upgraded.
Yeah, my girl got the
2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days
Nexus
ago.
S4G.
Yeah, so they've been good with these upgrades. So I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, these are, me and Joe were talking about last week too. Motorola makes some of the best hardware. A lot of people sleep on them because they've been off the ball with marketing and whatnot the last couple of years.
It's that locked bootloader that turns a lot of people away, but that's a software issue.
Yeah, but they changed that already now. They got a website.
Yeah.
Where you can go on.
That's good for them. That's excellent for them.
So these phones are pretty solid. Like I said, I'm just mad that it's on Verizon almost because these fucking. I went on there on the website and these prices they got for some plans, man. This shit is ridiculous, man. I wish they had a GSM version of.
Prince, wasn't you thinking about going to Verizon a couple months ago?
Yeah, man, I was on the market. I didn't know where to take my talents to, but I stuck with Sprint. But now I'm even getting frustrated with Sprint. I was kind of looking at AT&T stuff the other day, so.
It's like when you're shopping around for a new provider, it's like you got to pick the lesser of the evils.
Yeah.
But I mean, Sprint's been holding me down, and if they get this note too, they definitely get my money. When you sent me that link yesterday, Prince, I was like, yo, I had that little kid at the birthday gift.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, that's what I had that face. I was like, oh shit, take my money, Sprint.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna immediately send him that link.
Because I've been saying, like, I even wanted the OG note last year. I was like, man, if that shit come out, I want to cop. But I mean, like, for me, that makes sense for me to use something like that. But I mean, a lot of people are gonna view it as a gimmick. But hey, do what you gotta do. I'll make use of that bitch. I'll learn how to draw or something. All right, so we kind of talked about Moto, who's been on the scene for a long time. Let's talk about the new kid on the block. Well, not really. Nokia's been in the game for a minute, but everybody really didn't give a fuck about them. But this Windows 8 and Nokia partnership is gonna. It's like, I think it's high risk, high reward with this new Windows 8 launch. They're really putting their eggs in one basket.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why Microsoft is choosing Nokia as their main. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one that's noticed this. They're like putting all their money behind these Nokia phones being successful, and I don't know when the fuck's the last time I seen somebody with a Nokia phone. To be honest with you.
Snake.
To be honest with you, I haven't seen anybody with a Nokia phone. Matter of fact, my first cell phone, mad years ago, was a Nokia phone, and that was fucking years ago. That was when my ass was still in high school. But fucking, I mean, these phones, they're not bad. They launched the Nokia 920, the 820. The 920 being the big boy version. You got a dual core Snapdragon S4, and the big hoopla with these phones is the camera. It's an 8 megapixel pure view camera. I've never seen none of these Nokia phones in action, but from what I hear, these pure view cameras are supposed to be top of the top line cameras as far as a cell phone goes, and they pretty much pushed that during the press conference. You know, you got the specs real quick. We didn't get no pricing. We didn't get no launch date. We got a little bit about Windows 8, but the big talk with them, with both the phones, especially with the 920, I mean, was talk of the camera.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it looks cool, but I don't know. I think more importantly than the hardware itself, I'm really just on the fence as a whole about Windows 8. Like, more so than anything.
I'd try it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, you know, Sprint would let you have the phone for what, like 2 weeks or some shit like that?
I don't know.
Something. But I mean, I would.
Like 60, but.
What's that?
Best Buy let you have it for like 45 days.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, I would try it. I don't know. Like, I think I said it before. Like, on my phone, I look at it every day. And I think I like to be able to change stuff around, not look at the same thing. Now, this layout on a tablet will be flames, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I would probably try it to see, but I always make the joke like I'm too deep in this Android shit to even like climb out.
Pretty much. I mean, we spoke about it before. That's the difficulty. It's basically a war, and two people are winning it right now. Yeah. iOS and Android. And now you're trying to convince people to come fight for your side. And
yeah, I think it has like some cool, like, kind of go back on the specs and everything. Like, I was looking over it, and it's got the you can use it wearing gloves.
Man, I mean, but really, how many?
But I'm saying, we all live somewhere where it gets cold as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
I'm not gonna front. That would come in handy because I mean, I'm not outside a whole hell of a lot when it's cold, but gotta wear them gloves. I mean, that shit would have came in handy when I was coming cross country last year. Like, Prince, you out in Colorado, it's cold as shit out there. I learned that shit firsthand.
Yep.
I got caught in that snowstorm, dog.
Have you ever seen anybody with Nokia phones in real life? Because I have not.
That's what I just said. I haven't seen anybody with one of these in a while.
I know my girl has one in Alabama because I see her like making Facebook updates via Windows Phone. But she didn't have when I was down there. But
go ahead, my bad.
I don't want to go to the AT&T store just to play with one, but
I actually did the other one. The one was the Lumia 900.
Yeah.
I was at the mall and I told my girl, I said, hey, I'm gonna go in here real quick. I'm gonna check this phone out, and it actually feels nice and solid. You know what I mean? It's a little heavy, but I kind of like that. Like, you know, it has some sturdiness to it. But I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do big things. But I think the other thing is, like, people that are really buying into this are really hyping it up to be something that it's not. We don't know what the app catalog is gonna look like. The shit is still literally in its infancy.
If it looks like what it looks like,
it's gonna take over the world, and it's not gonna do that yet.
If the app catalog looks like what the computer one looks like, and I mean, I've had a couple of people tell me there's over 100,000 apps or whatever. But you know, I've never seen like, oh, check out this Windows Phone game or whatever. Like, I've heard check out this Android game, check out this iOS game. And I don't know, I think when I look at these phones, like I told you the other day, Judd, about the colors. I think, like, I'm thinking about some, like, when you look at the iPhone, serious fucking phone. When you look at the S3 or the Evos, serious phones. When I look at these phones, I think about a high school kid or something having this phone. That's just me. I don't know if it's because they keep pushing its yellow color. Like, I know,
that
like,
yellow, that
like,
shit look like a bumblebee, though.
like make all the colors available. But I would have pushed that black one or that
silver joint,
or that silver one.
or whatever. That joint looks nice.
That's just me. I would have pushed those two. But as far as Windows 8, like I said, I have Windows 8 on my computer right now. Like I said, it's smooth, and I'm assuming on the phone with these type of specs. These are good specs for people that don't know. These pretty much compare to the S3 and the 1 series phone specs. So the specs are there. The hardware seems to be pretty solid. But it's your operating system. Like, let's see how the operating system is gonna work on this. And I'm suspecting it's gonna be smooth. But again, what's gonna compel somebody to walk into a Nokia store or whatever, you're at the mall, and
Nokia store?
Yeah,
Nokia wouldn't have no fucking store. They'd have a kiosk in the middle of the fucking.
You don't even have that, man.
Yeah, that's what
they have some dude with a trench coat like, yo, my man.
I got these new 920s. But
Come on, dog, come on. Got the other side, he got Bluetooth and shit with the matching colors.
Like,
No,
what's
that should be yellow, bruh.
You're right.
Like, what's gonna compel somebody to say, I'm not gonna pick up this S3, I'm not gonna pick up this new iPhone 5, I'm gonna pick up this 920 from Nokia? And I mean, you have to bring more than just a really nice camera.
Yeah.
So let's see if the price is right on this. If they can keep this super cheap, which I doubt they're gonna do, if they can keep this between, I don't know, say $150 and $250 around there. I mean, I'm talking about $250 off contract, and like,
come on, bro.
Yeah,
that shit ain't gonna happen, dog.
I mean, I don't see this thing moving major units just yet, and they have to get with other fucking phone makers. Like, Microsoft should have had a big phone event and launched a Nokia phone, an HTC phone, and possibly a Samsung phone. But just pushing Nokia, because the last one, the 900, was pretty much a failure. Somebody was trying to argue this with me the other day on the Kali.
Oh, I already know who it was.
The 900 was pretty much, it was pretty much a failure. I mean, the fucking phone came out and then they dropped it to like 99, like a month later. And a month after that, they were literally giving the shit away for free.
Shit was double wood status.
So people already got that association with these Nokia phones. And something else I read online was they should have gave this shit a different name. Because let's say the Samsung Galaxy phone was a complete failure, and then you come out with the Samsung Galaxy, I don't know, S3 or something, S7 or some shit like that. People are still going to associate that phone with that name. So for people that really don't know, not like us, we're in the loop about this shit. Somebody that doesn't know, and they tell their friend, oh, I'm going to get the Nokia Lumia phone. They'll be like, nah, that shit came out in March. That shit failed. Not knowing there's a new one that came out that's actually pretty good. So it's marketing, people. Marketing is where it's at.
I think the biggest thing, before we hop off of here, like, I think the biggest thing, the biggest key to their success is going to be buying, and I keep saying it, buying into the ecosystem. People that are heavy Windows users, people that are, Xbox users, to be able to integrate all three. I think that's, once they get that, I think I told you the other day, Danny, when we were talking, I think I said their whole success or failure really hinges on that, if you can boil it down to simple terms.
Yeah, it's about it's all about how you really gotta think about it. Apple really hasn't released a killer phone since I want to say maybe the 3G around there. And fucking look at them, they're moving units, but that's all marketing and brand loyalty. Microsoft and Nokia, and I know Nokia phones are real big outside the US because they're able to make a lot of cheaper phones. But we're in the US where we're, probably besides us in China, we're the major consumers of these smartphones. Like, your marketing has to come strong. And I'm surprised that Microsoft hasn't got on the ball with this, because they're usually pretty good. They market their computers pretty good. They market their software pretty good. And if they want to be successful in this phone business, they're going to have to learn to market these phones a lot better. Not just, oh, it has a really nice camera. And even with that, they fucked that up because Nokia had like some type of pre-produced video. Not to say that the camera is still not going to be amazing, but they already have that little bit of controversy with that. But again, let's see. Like, I'm all for trying new things. If one of these shits can launch for like $100, I might mess around and pick one up for a couple of months too. I don't know. But I mean, for the rest of the people, if they want to sell 20 million phones in 3 months or whatever, they're gonna have to rethink their marketing plan.
I think the success on the phone is going to be secondary to how people take the actual Windows on the new laptops and desktops. They feel like they lost that tile system, and they'll buy into the phones, like you guys say, with the ecosystem, and they'll just take it from there.
That's gonna be their biggest thing. I'm not gonna say that it's a cool idea. I'll put it like that. It's a cool idea. It looks nice. I think I would get tired of it, but we don't know when the announce date's gonna be. We don't really know anything. You know, if they even have some that are really ready, or if this is just, you know, a beta, or, you know what I mean, like a strong prototype. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess time will tell. And you know, we already got people lining up on the collar, like Windows 7 is the greatest, or Windows 8's the greatest. It's gonna do this, that, and the third. Maybe we can get them on the show to. Maybe they see something we don't.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know though. But
Get a Samsung one. I wouldn't get the Nokia one. So let's not forget, Sony dropped their, I think it was the 8 TIV S or something like that, when they had their Galaxy Note 10.1 event a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I copped instead of the Nokia, but.
Yeah, I wonder why, like you said, Danny, that kind of made me think, like, they used to have an HTC Windows Phone, they had Samsung Windows Phones, and they were kind of pushing them out, and they're really putting all their faith in the Nokia.
I mean, the rumor is, when HTC has this event coming up now in a week or two, the big rumor is that it's going to be a Windows 8 event. They're going to drop a Windows 8 phone, and I've heard a couple of specs. And the Windows 8 phone that they're allegedly dropping, is pretty much a Evo clone. I mean,
that was the fucking HD2.
Yeah, no, not. I'm sorry, not the new, not the old Evo, the new Evo.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
The new Evo. That's allegedly the phone they're dropping. But again, that's not even that much of a good look. Because why would I pick up this HTC Windows 8 phone and not pick up an Evo where I have much more freedom as far as what I can do to my phone? This whole closed operating system of theirs, again, Apple can pull that off. One, they have a huge modding community anyways, and two, their marketing is crazy. Apple can pull that off. We've said that a bunch of times. Microsoft, like, this closed operating system might end up hurting them. At the end, people like to change shit on their phone more than these companies think.
Yeah, sometimes they're not too in touch with their customers. And, you know, kind of, I'll use that as a segue to a company that's, like, been listening. Amazon's really trying to get their foot in the door, y'all.
Yeah, Amazon had this event, and at first I was shaking my head with this fucking event. I'm like, don't tell me these fuckers, had are having a press event just to tell me they're launching a Kindle reader with a backlit screen. And I mean, that was announced. For those that don't know, Amazon announced a $120, $119 Kindle Paperwhite, which is a new reader. It's pretty much has the same dimensions as your other Kindle reader. The main difference about this is a backlit screen. On this one, it's giving you about 62% higher resolution, 25% more contrast. It's easier on the eyes to read. I own a Kindle. I think I have the 3G version of it. And while it's comfortable to read, sometimes when you're out in the sunlight or whatever, it can be a bitch. But this one's gonna take care of that. Like I said, they came out with this, and this really wasn't the big news, so we're not gonna spend a lot of time on this. Cause to me, with all these new tablets coming out, readers are almost becoming secondhand. But Amazon, before I say that, and I know some of my listeners are gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I will acknowledge Amazon always, Amazon always moves a whole shitload of these readers. They have a strong base of users. But their big announcement was they announced 2 new tablets, a revamped Fire and the Fire HDs.
Yeah, President, didn't you say, was it you that had the Fire or somebody that you knew that you like rooted in everything, the OG Fire?
Yeah, I bought my girl last Christmas. I bought her the Fire.
Yeah, I mean,
the ICS tablet.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real blunt because I really don't give a fuck about Amazon and their tablet game. Like, it's cool for people that quote unquote purchase everything. I mean, I buy my stuff, but I don't buy everything. Just dodge some bullets there. Read between the lines, if you will. Because I guess what it is it's good for people who aren't heavy into the tech game. You know what I mean? People that don't root their stuff, that don't like to, hack everything. People that actually buy books and things like that and want everything on there. I guess that's cool. But what the fuck is up with their they trying to drop and say you get free LTE, but it's only like 250 megs?
Yeah, that was definitely weird. You get 4G LTE with the phone through AT&T, but you only get 250 megabytes a month of it, which I don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do with that. I mean, the way you gotta think about it with that is they're expecting people only to download, I'm assuming, books with 250 megabytes. So if you want to get 3 or 4 books in 2 seconds in a month, that's what that'll get. But you get 250 megabytes, 20 gigs of cloud storage, and a $10 app credit. But you have to pay $50 a year for that, which is pretty much bullshit. I mean, but overall, I told you, I mean, spec-wise and a couple of other things, software-wise, I was impressed with this thing. 8.9 inches, 16 gigabyte for $300. They have the 7-inch, 16 gigabyte for $199. Then you have the $500 4G, 32 gigabyte one. Beautiful. It has a beautiful screen. Dolby Digital Plus dual speakers, which is the first tablet ever to have one of those. So like I said, software-wise, I'm impressed by a couple of things. They have this thing called, let me see, where's that? They have Whisper Sync, but they had that before, where like all your audio, like if you pick up an audio book and you're listening to it on your computer, then you pick it up on the tablet, it's automatically synced. Kindle Free Time, that's what they have, something called Kindle Free Time, which allows you to set like restrictions on how long your kids can use the tablet. So you can pretty much set it up like, all right, they can have an hour for books, half an hour for video, and 15 minutes for games. And you hand them over the tablet, they use it, and once all that time runs out, the screen goes a bright blue, and it pretty much basically says like your time is up, and they can no longer use the tablet, which to me is pretty cool.
That'd be good in school, I think.
Yeah, that'll definitely be good to, hand a group of kids some books. Like, look, y'all have half an hour to read this book, and then I'm giving you guys a test. They can't bullshit on it, because in half an hour they can't do nothing else with the phone, so they're going to pretty much have to read it. And like I said, spec-wise, it's pretty impressive. But again, I don't see why you would choose this over a Nexus 7 at this point. Even though I've read one comparison review already, and it wasn't from a major like tech writer or whatever, but they were putting this above the Nexus 7, which to me is a stretch. It's a big stretch. I mean, the guy was pretty much going on the fact that about with the Amazon ecosystem and the speakers. But I mean, you can, it's like Jut said, like, again, for the average user, because somebody who pretty much flashes ROM or whatever, you can take this thing and flash Cyanogen on it or whatever ROM you want. You'll probably be able to do that in a couple of months. But for the average user, Like, if you don't want that whole Amazon overlay, you can just get yourself a 8 GB or 16 GB Nexus 7 with a Jelly Bean. And this thing is running Ice Cream Sandwich, by the way. And I mean, I don't see why somebody would choose this over a Nexus 7 unless you already have a lot invested in the Amazon ecosystem.
Prince, you got any other thoughts on this?
I don't think so.
Alright, cool.
Not much to say about it, man.
Yeah, that's why I kind of let Danny go off, because he follows more than I do. He was like, Amazon. I was like, oh, where? Cool.
That's for
He's like telling me all the stats. I'm like, alright.
Yeah, I mean, it's
good for them. I hit him with that, what was that kid in the playoffs last year when he told him, good job, good effort? That's what I feel like at Amazon. Like, good hustle, guys, good hustle. Have a seat.
They are putting them up on the pedestal because I guess they have good pixel density, which is the next best thing close to the iPad Retina display. I guess we can mention that. But
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess, I mean, the Fire still did pretty well, but I think that was more price than anything. But I guess off of sheer convenience, they'll still do pretty solid. But
I'm surprised they have.
We'll see how this hooks up. If they, with that rumor comes true about them releasing a smartphone, we'll see. They're building their own ecosystem. So
yeah, I was surprised to hear that they actually have 22% of the tablet market. That seems kind of high for me. I don't know.
It's that price, though.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
So let's talk about Forza, dog.
Forza, my fucking favorite game ever.
That shit is. I got Forza 3, and like I played it for a little while. I get bored with games quick, so like once I hooked up my car, I had this dope ass like Focus, and I just stopped playing it.
Yeah, Forza.
I was dusting everybody, so I was like, alright, I'm done.
Forza's coming out with a new game, Forza Horizon. I have Forza 3. I've had 2, 3. I played. I'm telling you, I think I lost a full year of my life to fucking Forza 3. It's I finished that whole game. The customizing, I was real big on fucking customizing cars. I really much never fucked with the online, because online's ridiculous. If you've never played, Forza Online is ridiculous. Some of these cats take these cars and I fuck around and mod these cars a lot. But some of these guys are really talented with modding these cars or whatever, hooking them up. So online is kind of challenging. Like I said, the one achievement I don't have from that game is an online achievement. But yeah, Forza Horizon is coming out. They're pretty much going with the open world racing game, and it's getting a lot of so far it's getting a lot of good reviews already with what they're trying to do with this. If anybody's ever played the Dirt games, especially Dirt 3 and Dirt 4, they kind of have this, where it's like an open world type of game. I know there's a game called Driver also. It has that thing. You're on an island. I believe it's an island or a city or a state, and you drive around doing missions and having races and upgrading your cars, which is different from the sim type of game that Forza was. So, like I said, I haven't picked up Forza 4 yet, but I'm going to probably pick it up, and I might just mess around and pick this up and waste another year or two of my life. But yeah, there's about 200 events you can do in the game. As always, Forza has a crazy amount of cars. You can customize them. You can sell cars. I was real big on doing that, selling cars inside the game. And just a bunch of shit. The game looks beautiful. I've seen screenshots and videos of it, and the game looks fucking beautiful. And Forza's been running shit, man. I know a lot of Gran Turismo people have been.
That used to be my shit.
Gran Turismo people have been in denial about it, but Forza pretty much runs this gen when it comes to racing games. And they're taking it, like I said, they're taking it to a whole new level with this. I mean, they're pretty much tired that they run the sim side of it. Now they're going to go with the open world side of it. And this launches October 23rd.
Oh, damn. Well,
yeah,
that gives me another thing to do. I still got to pick up Madden. I haven't even gotten that yet.
I haven't
I'm
played
gonna check this out, man. I always avoided Forza because it's always closed tracks, and I don't like that. I'm still playing Midnight Club Los Angeles, which came out in 2009, something like that. I like it because it's open road, there's traffic and all that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna check this one out because it seems to be along that same storyline. So
yeah, I was always into more of the like sim type racing games like Gran Turismo, stuff like that. I never liked Midnight Club and like Need for Speed. Like I was never really into that.
I had one of the Need for Speeds. I forgot which one it was. And I mean, it was fun at first, but I don't know. I mean, the lack of being able to customize my cars got boring, and all that shit, getting chased by the cops and all that had me paranoid when I was really driving.
I like going Forza. I'll just take like some BS car and like hook it up as much as I can and just make it look as ridiculous as I can. Like I'll put some crazy paint job on it. Like the Focus that I had like this coral pink paint job. It was a Focus hatch, but it was a beast. You know what I mean? Like I just always like to do like little shit like that just to be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the game is dope. The handles are like, it handles really really nicely. You know, from car games in the past. You really feel like, the way that the car turns is really how that car will turn in real life, you know what I mean? So they did a great job. I'm looking at these screenshots, and I think I see it looked like an 80s, like, T-Bird.
Yeah.
That joint might be alright.
And it's going to be off-roading and weather.
Are they going to have rally races on here?
I think so. I think they're going to have...
Man, I love them shits, dog.
I think they're going to have rally races. That's why I love the Dirt series. I have...
I've never even heard of that shit, to be honest with you.
Dirt, oh man, Dirt is fucking... It's just strictly rally. It's like the Forza of rally games.
Oh, word?
That's how that game is. It's pretty much the best looking game, period, I've seen on the Xbox has been Dirt. But then again, I don't play every fucking game, but I follow the big ones that come out or whatnot. And Dirt is one of the best looking games ever. And it's fun as shit too. It's another one I've spent more time than I care to share playing.
That's definitely going to be worth checking out. There's a lot of stuff coming out this year. Don't the new Assassin's Creed come out in October too? I don't know if y'all are hip on that. I was kind of checking for it because the storyline seemed kind of cool. I've never personally played it, but the storyline seemed interesting to me. I'm a history geek, so it seemed kind of cool. It takes place during the Revolutionary War and all that. And I think it comes in October. Maybe one of our heavy gamers can correct me on that one. But there's a lot of stuff coming out this fall, so I think it's gonna be good.
Got the new Call of Duty coming out too.
Shit! I forgot all about that.
They have a new Black Ops 2 coming out.
And that joint's in the future, right?
Yeah, that shit's future game. I mean, the big news about that, and I'm not a fan of this, but they have like a whole revamped zombie mode coming out. So, but that's gonna be the killer. That's gonna move dumb units.
Oh yeah.
This November.
Shit, I still haven't even played Call of Duty. I haven't played Modern Warfare 3 outside of busting my cousin's ass when I was drunk. I haven't played the story, none of that.
I got that here. I haven't played it in a while. I finished the story.
I was gonna pick it up on Redbox like last weekend, but like I'm hardly ever home, so I don't even buy games because I'm barely home. But I saw it on Redbox and I was trying to pick it up, but the fucking machine was broken. I was like, man. But I mean, Call of Duty always does numbers, so it's gonna be good. We'll have to revisit this and see what's by the end of the year. See what move units. I don't know. Madden was doing numbers, right, Prince?
Madden. I'd say if you haven't copped a Madden game in a few years, this will be the one to go get. I can notice some differences that I like. The gameplay, the visuals, and the career modes. There's like a real... You got the XP points basically to spend if you're coaching or if you're playing as a player to spend and upgrade things. So it has that whole RGP element to it. It's kind of fun. I'd say go cop it.
I might do that. I saw somewhere I get it for like $40 or something. I was checking Slick Deals, and I saw the other day. I saw it. It was like $30 some, and I was like, oh, I got hype, and then I saw it was for PS3, and I got mad.
Copped it for $10, man.
Did you trade in some?
I had bought the HTC Evo LTE from Best Buy, and they give you like a $50 gift card when you copped it. I traded that for the S3, but I still had the gift card.
Nice.
I was like, that don't match.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I was gonna pick up NCAA because I actually like NCAA almost always more so than Madden. But this new Madden is alright.
I think NCAA is garbage this year. Yeah.
You think so?
You can't even like import anything.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So it's kind of useless for me, and it just doesn't feel any different from the last couple
It
years.
feels a little bit more fluid. I think. But that game is like, it's more arcadey, I think, and it pisses me off. Like, I know it's like real life when you get, like, say you're playing fucking like LSU and it's a night game, and you got like a fucking freshman receiver and you try to call his hot route and this motherfucker runs the wrong way because he can't handle the pressure. I get so mad. Especially like I play my cousin all the time and he'll be talking shit. I'm like, man, fuck you. When I win, I got home team. So I'll pick like, it's tough when you got somebody like LSU or like Penn State's crowd is up there, you know what I mean, or even Alabama, you know. You know, but that adds that realness to it. But the Madden joint is dope. It doesn't feel as robotic as before.
The only problem I see with that, with their new physics engine, like after plays.
Oh yeah, people flipping all over everywhere.
I haven't passed.
People like flipping and falling over each other. It just looks dumb as shit.
Yeah.
It's real clumsy. Hopefully
that shit looks so unnatural. Like, you hit somebody like leg and these motherfuckers like go flying like they got hip tossed. The shit is funny to me though. I just laugh about it. As long as my players don't get hurt. But that happens to me in NCAA every time. Like, I like to play with South Carolina, and I feel like every time I play that fucking game, Lattimore gets hurt, and I'm like, oh, there goes my offense.
Running back, right?
Yeah, dude's a problem.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Dude,
there's not a lot of injuries or penalties. Also in this new Madness, not a lot of injuries. Like, people get injured every fucking like 4 plays usually. There's not a lot of like play challenges. Like, sometimes you just challenge a play for no reason.
Yeah.
Everything's pretty clear cut this year. There's not a lot of opportunities to even challenge anything, and penalties either. So.
Y'all remember the old one where the ambulance came out on the field?
Hell yeah.
They need to bring that shit back, bro.
Yeah.
They bring the card out sometimes, though.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Does the dude give you the thumbs up on the way out?
Yeah. Just bumps and shit. Like, alright.
Shit. Alright, y'all. Let's move into pop culture, and I guess we all know what we're gonna talk about. Breaking Bad, man. That shit. I had the Obama smiley with the whew.
Yeah, Breaking Bad was nuts. I mean, fuck, I love the way it ended. I love that there was a little bit of a cliffhanger, as they say, but it wasn't nothing too major. I mean, it ended pretty much with Walt having one of them good problems, like I call it, having a whole shitload of money.
Let's talk about the main part of the episode was, what was it, nine deaths?
Yes, 9 deaths in 3 minutes.
Everybody getting bodied up.
9 deaths. When they laid that plan out, I was like, yeah, they ain't gonna run this shit. I thought either the FBI was gonna get a hold of it and stop it or whatever, but fucking they sure did drop 9 bodies in 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever, and it was brutal too. That was about as brutal of a scene The thing I've seen, the last thing I've seen that brutal, matter of fact, was, if y'all remember on The Wire, when Chris beat up Michael's stepfather, when he
wasn't even that bad.
When he beat him to death, like, this shit was pretty. That shit made me cringe, and so did this shit, especially when they hit up that first guy and stabbed him in the fucking neck.
Stabbing, dog, it was crazy.
Yo, that shit sounded like they was tenderizing meat, bro. That shit was like, I was like, god damn. Because they was on the phone, and I seen them two, like, those white supremacist dudes.
Yeah.
And I said, you better finish that phone call, dog. That's your last combo. And he had that look on his face, like, I didn't do anything.
They had that happy ass music playing.
Yeah, right? Like they were at some kind of fucking, like, dinner party or something.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that shit. And then, you see how they got old boy that ran the laundromat, where they just tossed the cleaner in there and set that shit on fire?
Yeah. In the caves. They hit him with the lighting fluid and psh.
Yo, didn't they catch somebody in their neck? Like, they was on the ground, they started getting him in his neck?
Yeah, they showed that scene. The guy was already in the ground, just poking him up in his fucking neck. It was real crazy. It was funny because I'm thinking how Walt had told Jesse a couple of episodes ago, he was pretty much begging him. And this just shows the malicious side of Walt's character, He was telling them like, oh, there's no more bodies. We're in charge now. Like,
Yeah,
no
that
more
nigga was smiling like a
bodies.
motherfucker.
No more bodies, man. This motherfucker dropped.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, Walt lied with a straight ass face too. That dude is like, the only person that I put above him in terms of like manipulating people is Gemma from Sons of Anarchy. That bitch is a beast.
Pretty much.
But like, what else?
Finally paid Jesse.
Yeah, and Jesse was shook.
Jesse had the gun on him too.
Yeah,
I only called him
right.
at the end. Jesse was ready to pop him. Yeah, he gave him his fucking money. Jesse, I'm sorry, I've never liked Jesse's character. All this he gets
I like Jesse's character.
he gets $1 million and he's having a panic attack like a bitch. Like,
Nah, but see, listen, man, you can't call him a bitch. You really, if you think about all the fucked up shit that's happened to him, like, I sound like a shrink right now, but if you think about it, dude, like, his parents don't like him. So the only person he had was his aunt. She passed away, left in the house. His parents tried to take the house from him. And then one of his closest homeboys got bodied. His girl OD'd. You know what I mean? Like, dude just... I mean, he ain't a gangster, but I mean, you go through all that shit. I mean, you bound to have bad nerves. What'd you say?
So the little boy that got poisoned.
Oh, yeah. And he blamed himself.
Yep.
So, I mean, I feel for Jesse. That's my dude, though. And plus, the dude that plays him plays that character, like, to a T. Like, you feel like, he's the emotional side, like, because Walt doesn't show any emotion, and you have Jesse who really thinks and feels everything that happens, whether or not, whether he agrees or disagrees. If you think about it, Walt never shows any emotion besides, like, when he comes up on something. But when there's remorse or anything like that, he never shows it, and I feel like all of that goes on to Jesse.
yeah.
But, I mean, like, the whole show, like, dude had all that money. They can't launder the money because it's too much. It's crazy. And then he said he's out. Like, do you guys think that he's out of the game? Or, I forgot to even mention, he struck that deal with Lydia.
That's a
to
beautiful.
move that meth to, was it Czech Republic?
Czech Republic, man.
There's too much money. There's too much money fucking involved. And, Walt, we gotta remember, Walt said he's in the empire building business. And he pretty much just got his empire started. And you know what I'm actually surprised at? The relationship he has with, what's the new kid's name? Todd. With Todd, I'm actually surprised how good Todd is doing. And his character's almost becoming semi-likable. Honestly, if they give Todd more airtime next season, I'm gonna fuck around and no homo like Todd more than I like Jesse. Because Todd's about that business.
I look like he missing a chromosome, man.
Todd is about that fucking business. Yeah, Walt's getting stupid money. His wife took him over to the storage, and she just had the money stacked up. Like, she was like, I can't even count it. I fucking weighed it, and I lost the fucking weight on it.
Yo, that shit was crazy, man. As soon as she took him to the storage unit, I was like, I told my girl, I bet you there's money in there. If there's ever such a thing as too much money, that might be it.
Yeah, that shit was looking lovely. That shit was looking fucking lovely.
And then when I saw that, I was like, yeah, he has to pay Jesse now. He has to, because Jesse stuck by him the whole time. And Jesse, like, he can't deal with that shit no more.
What do you guys think is going to happen next season? Where's next season going to head on?
I would like to know how much time was skipped between him saying he was out and they cut to them having their little picnic by the pool.
I think it was 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
3 months.
Yeah, they said it was about 3 months, yeah.
Okay.
But I wanted to point out something to y'all. Did y'all peep, like you know how a couple episodes ago Walt was like, the methamphetamine keeps flowing, right?
Yeah.
Well, they've been dropping like little hints all the time. When Mike died by the river was flowing, right?
Yep.
And then I think there was another instance where there was water flowing or something. And then when they had their like little cookout or whatever, they showed the close up of the hose, but it was dripping water, and that was after Walt said he was out. Get the Weebay face, y'all.
Makes you think.
Get the
And then,
Weebay face.
then the fucking end of the episode, Walt's brother-in-law or whatever decides to go to the fucking bathroom and finds a fucking the book. Yo, this fucking dude, he's like,
yo, Hank's a G, man.
No, yo, Hank has the how I don't know what's the word, like just the most he's the luckiest dude I've ever seen for catching these little, like the motherfucker has, he's not a police, like when I think of, like, I don't know, even fucking McNulty was more of a police officer than him.
Yeah, McNulty was a good ass cop, man.
Like Hank does not come off.
He was just an alcoholic fucking man whore.
Hank just catches fucking breaks. That's all he does, just catches lucky breaks or bad breaks.
He's observant though. That's how he sees little shit like that.
Yeah.
Because the difference between being, I guess, a good cop or an average cop is, like, if you're observant, you're gonna pick up on little things. Like, think about how he pieced together the whole thing with Gus and what's the dude's name, Gale, with the napkin from Los Pollos Hermanos.
Yep.
Like, he saw that. What the fuck? This dude is a vegetarian. Why has he got chicken? Gus Fring. You know what I mean? Like, I think Prince, me and you were talking about it when I said he's good police.
Yeah.
Dude's just, he's got a nose. Like, sometimes it's not so much how you get the clues, it's what you make of the clues. You know, how you piece together everything in your head. And dude, like, literally obsesses over everything. He can't let it go. He's a terrible boss, but he's a good ass cop. But I wonder, like, a lot of people, have y'all guys read anything? Like, people were saying that he can't bring it to his bosses because they're going to think that he was involved somehow because of the money that got paid for his treatments and things like that. What do you guys make of that?
I don't know. I think he's going to have a hard time bringing it to them anyways because they told him to lay off this shit.
True.
They told him to lay off. Yeah, they told him to lay off this shit. So it's going to be interesting when he pieces it together next season. I've always said, I said it from season 1, I can see fucking Walt killing this motherfucker. And the thing is, dude's a FBI agent. It's a dangerous field. So, like, I can see if he gets too close and Hank suspects it, I can see Hank offing him.
You're gonna get Tortuga.
For real.
That shit was, you know, I forgot about that. Like, we were just talking about, like, brutal shit. That shit was brutal. When they put old boy head on the tortoise.
Yeah.
That's really what kind of sucked me into the show. I was like, man, they ain't fucking around. Yeah, it's definitely going to be good. And I wonder how Walt copping the M60 is going to play into all this. I wonder if he's going to be going to war with Hank. If he's going to war with the dudes from, what was it, Phoenix?
Yeah.
So
well, he said he wasn't going to use it. I remember when that first happened, that the dude he bought it from, he told the dude he wasn't even going to use it. So, let's see what devilish shit he got planned.
I don't know. That nigga say a lot of shit that he don't do, and he gonna do it anyway. So, we'll see. So we'll have to, that's gonna be our last Breaking Bad recap until next year. Whole year, guys. It's some bullshit. But I would rather wait and have a good story than them fucking jump the shark and give us some bullshit like the last season of The Wire.
Pretty much.
So, with that, let's talk about the upcoming season of Sons of Anarchy. Danny, I know you watch it. Prince, you watch Sons of Anarchy?
I have not, so I have nothing to input, but it's still on Netflix, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't think they're not caught up to the latest season on Netflix.
Nah, they're still missing the last season.
Netflix just has, I think, the first 2 or 3 seasons. Just remind me, the last season was the Ireland season, right?
No, that was that was
before?
The season before or the season before that, I think.
No, I think it was just the season before. I think I'm
last season was Jax finding out all that bull. Like, I'm trying not to like spoil it for Prince, so
I haven't seen it though. Then
you go ahead, man.
The last season I saw was
like Jax finding out all the shit about Clay and his mom, killing his dad, and then Clay dropped Piney in the cabin.
Yeah, no. The last season I saw was the Ireland one.
Yeah, that season was like, it was okay. I think like they drug it out. This past season was pretty good. Like the club basically went full circle for the most part. But season 4 I think was probably my favorite. Just so much stuff was going around. They got out of jail. There's a new sheriff in town, like literally. And there's a new DA. And he's he's a U.S. attorney, and he's like pretty much like dedicated to getting Sam Crow out of town, like shutting him down. So then they start working with the cartel because Clay always fucking gets them into some bullshit. And a whole bunch of shit happens with the cartel. Like, it's tough to explain. A lot of people said it was boring and, like, unrealistic, but in reality, the shit that happens could happen. You know, I think just a lot of people just don't relate to biker gangs. But there's a totally different animal than your regular crew that you would see, you know, in the streets somewhere else. You know, they're really, you know, it's pretty realistic for the most part. But a lot of juggling goes on in the hierarchy of the leadership there. And Jack still has that same struggle with whether he wants to be in Sam Crow because he feels like that's what his dad set out for him. But in reality, he finds out that his dad doesn't want him to be a part of it at all. Because of the business, because of the lifestyle that it is. So he's kind of juggling being a family man and, you know, basically taking care of his club. So this season's going to be really, really good. Jax is the head honcho now, and basically Clay got shot by Opie because Clay killed his pops. So now basically Clay is going to be the new Piney with the oxygen mask and, you know, sitting at the board table looking like the white Larry Holmes. So this season's going to be good. If you guys haven't checked it out, I know I spoiled it all for y'all a little bit, but the first 3 seasons are on Netflix. You can go on like Project Free TV, and they have the 4th season on there as well.
Or you can always buy the DVD on Amazon, people. Encouraged.
Yes, buy. Buy. And the new season, or excuse me, the last season just dropped on Blu-ray, so whatever your way of watching it, just watch it. It's a good-ass show. It comes on Tuesdays, I think, so it begins on the 11th. So I'm trying to get everybody up to speed so we can talk about it. But yeah, Sons of Anarchy is a really, really good show. Get past the whole I'm watching white folks. I know how some of y'all are. But the fact of the matter, it's a really good show. It's loosely based off of Hamlet, and it's got a lot of fucking action in it. So, and speaking of action, actually, you know what? I'm going to switch these around because I can segue myself into it really, really well. But did y'all listen to Dedication 4?
Yes, I did.
One listen, yep.
Did you put that shit in the Recycle Bin Hall of Fame?
I've still got every track. I'm gonna give it another listen. I liked it. It's sorry the first listen around, mostly because he picked good beats.
Yeah.
And there was like I don't think there was any auto tune, and he was just kind of flowing through everything. So
it was almost like the Wayne of old, almost just spitting raw on a track.
I wasn't.
It was ceilings a little bit.
I personally wasn't feeling it. I think what saved him was the fact that he did use all the beats from the most popular songs of the past couple of months. Like, just think about it this way. If he had dropped that tape with all original beats,
that shit would have been trash.
Shit would have been super trash. That's what saved him. Like, that's why I even still have it on my Google Music, not just on my hard drive. Cause there was a couple of tracks that shined here and there, but basically it's forgettable. It's very forgettable, and I'm not even surprised. Dude has been on some skateboarding shit only. If this had been a rock mixtape or something, probably would have been flames. But as far as rap goes, I don't know where his mind is with it, and it sucks because he can rap his fucking ass off when he wants to.
I thought, I guess let's talk about a couple of the tracks. I don't have the track listing in front of me, but I thought he killed that Don't Like.
Yeah, I like that.
That was probably my favorite, and he was okay on Mercy. Like, he started off like when it's on Kanye's part, he started killing it, and then when the beat changed back around, he kind of lost his steam. But I don't know. I thought it was okay, and the joint that he had with J. Cole was Flames.
Yeah, the Green Ranger. It's called. There's one track I haven't heard. I mean, I heard the whole thing through. I just don't remember it, and I probably skipped the one part which I'm about to talk about. He had that track with a Little Mouse, and this is what I was gonna. Yeah, this is actually. I was gonna save that joint for last, so we can segue to our next. That's actually gonna go into the next thing. Little Mouse.
That shit was horrible.
Little Mouse.
I never even heard a dude until this song, so I had to go like backtrack and look him up. And then
I literally said like, "What the fuck is a Little Mouse?"
Yeah, man, Little Mouse. For people that don't know, he's out of Chicago. Kid's like 12 years old, and he's rapping about
smoked.
talking about all types of crazy shit on there.
in the club.
Before we jump on that, was y'all feeling the joint over same day and time?
Yeah.
I like that too. I mean, but I guess it's because of the beat. But the only thing about him is like it could have been so much better. But he raps about the same shit. He's either getting high, fucking a bitch, skateboarding, or talking about truck fit.
Now,
I put that on Twitter too. And I was listening to it.
Oh yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm 4 or 5 songs in. Now he's rapping about his pussy.
Now was it just me? Was it just me, or did Lil Wayne just start eating pussy the last 2 years? Like, can I just put that out there? Has anybody else noticed that? Like, did Lil Wayne just start eating pussy the past 2 years? Because every track now, he's talking about eating a girl out, and I'm like, where, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you started just, like, where did this come from?
Like, yo, this dude asking for a late pass, like, yo,
yeah,
y'all see this shit? It's called a DVD.
Like, what is that about? And I know I'm not the
Yo,
only one that fucking noticed that.
At least he's not talking about eating ass like half the niggas on Twitter.
Oh, wow, yeah. Pause.
Alright, yo, so we was talking about Little Mouse. What the fuck is going on in Chicago, y'all?
Same shit that's been going on. Just getting exposed in the hip-hop culture now.
Yes, it's now the rappers now. Like, we were talking about Little Mouse. Dudes like 13 talk about fuck around, get smoked, this and that and the third. And you got, I guess, the dude who really started setting this shit off. Our favorite teenage ignorant ass nigga, like Danny likes to call him Mr. Keith.
Mr. Keith, that's how I refer to him this whole segment. I do not want to piss him off, because I
don't need no choppers singing.
Yes, but man, fucking, it was crazy. This past week, a rapper out of Chicago, this rapper called Lil Jojo, decides. I mean, Chicago in the whole, and not the whole Chicago. Let's narrow it down a bit. Basically, the hood areas of it, it's fucking worse than Iraq and Afghanistan. It's really, really crazy. They're averaging like 20, 30 shootings, 3 or 4 deaths per fucking weekend there. They had, I believe it was 50 deaths alone in August. But anyways, this and it's happening with a lot of the violence is happening with a lot of younger guys. This kid, Lil Jojo, who allegedly was a rapper, uploads a YouTube video of him and some other people driving around, and they see this other rapper called Lil Reese. Lil Reese is down with Chief Keef's crew, and they're Mr. Keef, excuse me, Mr. Keef's crew, and they talk shit back and forth, whatever. The next day, the kid winds up dead, got shot. They were on Twitter, they were reporting 16, 17 times, but it was actually only about 6 or 7 times, if that makes it any better, that the kid gets shot up. But again, the connection here is that Mr. Keef and Mr. Reese, they pretty much rap about some hardcore shit about killing dudes. And it seems, and in the video too, Reese, or one of his associates, quote unquote, you can hear them saying, "I'm gonna kill you." And basically, less than 24 hours later, this kid, Lil Jojo, was dead. And it's such of a big story. It's such a big story, not because somebody got killed, because we've said it the whole time. Well, I said it before. It's been happening for fucking months now, years. But because it's been exposed on a national level, because somebody like Chief Keef, who he has Mr. Keef, please, Mr. Keef.
You fucking around.
I'm fucking around with
them fuck arounds.
Mr. Keef, he has a song I Don't Like, which is pretty big. Couple of million YouTube hits. The remix is real big with Kanye West or whatnot. He signed to Interscope for a publishing deal. I believe it was $1 million or whatever. And it's like, are we now to the point where we're using music? No, at one point it was thought music was influencing, but are we using music to encourage these killings among our youths?
And after that, the dude Lil Reese was on Twitter. It was like, I just woke up to the JoJo shit. Fuck him.
Oh yeah, that was.
Those dudes did not give a fuck, and I think the craziest thing about it is they were like snitching on themselves almost.
That was.
I'm like, what part of the game is this? Like, I don't condone any of that, like at all. Like, I think a lot of it though too is like the younger generation. Like, we're all, I mean, we're still fairly young, but like, like when we were that age, if you had a problem with somebody, we fought. You know what I mean? But now, like, kids just shoot other kids. Like, it's sad. You got 16, 17-year-old kids, and Lil Jojo was a twin, and and they were talking about killing his twin at the fucking wake.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read a little bit of the Twitter things. I'm not gonna say the dude's name, but why this was so crazy too was because like these young dudes are so cold fucking blooded. Check out the fucking couple of comments by this one dude on the fucking Twitter. Jojo was 16. He got hit 17 times, so that's a bullet for each year he was on this earth, plus 17, plus the 17th, which was at his forehead. Rest in fucking peace. Yeah, he got hit 17 times, twice in the cheek. His twin brother came on 64th and BD. He won't make it to see this weekend. Jojo can't even have a funeral. That bitch got his face shot off. Might as well go ahead and cremate him. Rest in peace. And
weren't they say rest in piss?
Yeah, rest in piss. Rest in fucking piss. Oh yeah, and the other one. If you BDK, then die today, just like Jojo. Don't let it be known where his funeral at, cause we gonna wreck that bitch like we did Aki. Like they're talking about like just, and again, this is on Twitter for everybody to see. Not only talking about we killed him, good riddance that he's dead, but we will shoot up his funeral and kill some more fucking people.
I think dudes need to father their kids, father their sons. I think that's like really, just it's a fucked up ass situation. Especially when you don't have shit, you don't have access to shit that keeps you out of trouble. You know what I mean? It's all around just really, really fucked up that it's come to shit like this. And then these kids don't have any like regard for another human's life. I think that really what separates everything. It's not human. It's really not. It's like, it's sad. At the end of the day, it's really, really fucking sad. I mean, it does have like a little humor to it. Like, I know I kind of joked about these kids on Twitter and shit, but like overall, it's fucking terrible, man.
I think we have to start admitting the influence that music has. Like a lot of these rappers say, "Oh, I'm not a role model." I know 50 at one point was that people need to tend to their kids better when what's his name kid got smacked up. But you have to start admitting the influence this fucking music is having on kids. Yeah, it might not have that big of an influence in a kid who is on a quote-unquote stable household, but for these other kids who don't have role models and are caught in these fucking urban areas where ain't shit to do, ain't shit going on, like this music is all they have. This is their map for life. This is their roadmap for life, and we have to start admitting that this music has a bigger influence. And I don't want to hear that shit about, oh, these kids go and see the fucking Terminator, blah 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 blah, and all this fucking other shit. Yeah, the fucking Terminator really ain't in their hood. There's a bunch of Chief Keefs and 50s in everybody's fucking hood. Like they ain't fucking seeing Superman and thinking, oh, I can jump out the window and fucking fly. These kids ain't that fucking dumb. But they are seeing the rapper and the drug dealer and the rapper who says he was a drug dealer and a killer talking about, oh, if somebody fucks with me, I'ma fucking kill him. And they're like, you know what? I can live up to that expectation. I can get a gun and pop a motherfucker. I can't jump out the window like Superman. I can't level the building like Terminator. But I can fucking do what 50 says or Chief Keef says or anyone or Flocka or Gucci or any of the other rappers. And I can go and fucking pop somebody. And we have to start admitting fucking rap music. And again, don't give me that shit about fucking rock music. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. These kids ain't copping no Nirvana CDs, none of that shit. They're listening to
shit. I mean, a couple, like when I was like in middle school or whatever, when what's that nigga name? Marilyn Manson. He was big. You got people fucking painting their fingernails black and all that shit. Like, it's just a big influence. Anything can be an influence, but at the end of the day, it's up to the parents to regulate that shit. You know what I mean? But it's hard to do that when your mom, your pops ain't around. Your mom got to work 2 jobs to feed you and your brothers. You know what I mean? It's just an all-around fucked up situation. I don't want to hear anybody out there saying that, oh, blame it on white folks and all this and that and the third. Like, that shit is played out. You know what I mean? It's fucking disgusting. The situation itself is fucked up in and of itself without having to blame it on anybody else but us. You know what I mean? Like, it's up to parents to parent their children. Keep after their little asses. I know, like, I grew up in not the best of neighborhoods, but if my grades weren't right or if I was fucking around, my mom would beat my ass.
Yep.
Pretty.
I can't even fathom doing half of the shit that these kids do now, because I'm like, man, my mom will smack the fuck out of me.
Pretty
I'm
much.
still scared of my mom.
Pretty much.
Yep.
And on a bigger scale, these fucking, and I know it's pretty not gonna happen in my lifetime, but these music companies need to be held more accountable. So do these fucking rappers. Put out the music. Like, it's not about just put out the music. It's been happening forever. But also, like, these are the realities of the hood. But tell them what's on the other side also. Tell them there is.
But I mean, if I can use play devil's advocate, with the music companies being held responsible, that's like saying McDonald's makes you fat. It's McDonald's fault that somebody eats it is fat. You know what I mean? You make the choice. It's all about personal choices, personal decisions. They are kids, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's the parents. If somebody's 350 fucking pounds and all they eat is quarter pounders 3 times a week, of course you're gonna be fat. You're not gonna lose no weight. I don't care how many Diet Cokes you drink, but it ain't McDonald's fault. They make the food, but you choose to eat that.
But what if all you have to eat is McDonald's?
That's a good point.
That's what happens. Like, all these kids have around them is this type of influence. So there's only so if a parent's able to get the kid out of that situation or stop them from eating McDonald's and they don't, that's different. But if all you got to feed your kid is that because of whatever your situation is, then like I said, it's a whole systematic issue. I don't want to place all the blame on the fucking music companies. Because again, look, Jimmy Iovine signed this kid to $1 million deal. The website Pitchfork had him freestyling at a gun range.
Oh yeah.
Knowing the kid pulled the gun out on a fucking cop and was on probation for that shit. Like, they're glorifying this shit. Because believe it or not, this shit sells units. And again, it sells units, and it's not none of these kids that are getting killed that are buying these CDs. It's people that are in good situations that wish they lived this lifestyle that are buying or downloading the music. But yeah, this was real tragic. The kid was fucking 16 and basically died over some bullshit.
I guess that's how it goes. So from one person that died over some nonsense to a person that if you would ask anybody that knows about her, they will probably say she had it coming, myself included. Griselda Blanco, the cocaine godmother from Cocaine Cowboys. They finally got her ass.
This was the blueprint. For people that haven't seen Cocaine Cowboys, you need to even pause this right now, go on Netflix and look at Cocaine Cowboys 1 and 2. That shit is really the real Scarface almost. That's a real life Scarface, real life blueprint for that fucking thing. And Griselda Blanco was a Colombian lady who was running the coke scene in the mid to late 80s or throughout the whole 80s pretty much. And yeah, it was a woman. I mean, she was there. She was doing shit before Escobar and them was really doing shit. And the lady was pretty much fucking insane.
She was ruthless, bro.
She was insane. With anybody could get it. Kids, women.
Kids did get it.
Yeah, kids did get it. No Michael Jackson. Fucking people, yo. She popped kids, everybody. And I'm actually surprised. And she did a bit. She did a couple of years here and was able to beat the legal system. She lost both her sons. To this or whatever. Was able to beat the legal system and go back to Colombia.
You know how I know this bitch was crazy? She named her son Michael Corleone Jr.
Yep. Yep, like
I just want to let that sit in for everybody for a minute. Like, you gotta be off your fucking rocker for some stupid shit like that. But I mean, what was the story? She sent the hitters after somebody, and they shot up the car, but he wasn't in there. It was his son, and she was like, "Oh, well, at least his son died." Oh yeah, they were
after one of her hitmen who had betrayed her, and she sent a couple of other hitmen to hit him up, and they followed him. They caught him at a red light, pulled up next to him, and they were inside the back of a van, and so they wouldn't give themselves up. They shot through the van into his car. The guy didn't get killed, but his son was sleeping in the back seat of the car, and his son got killed.
Cold-blooded. And then, ironically, they got her ass the same way she was hitting people with the motorcycle hits. got her ass was she coming in or out of a butcher shop? But I wonder, like, I mean, she had to have known that shit was coming, though, because you basically know you can't set foot in Colombia. You know, I mean, she got deported and everything, but she had to have known. Like, I wonder how long, like, she's been laying low for them to just get her out the blue one day. Or somebody showed a lot of patience. Like, one of these days, we're going to catch this bitch, we're going to make her think she's safe, and boom, pop her off.
Yeah, I mean, her death was coming because she pissed off. I mean, she went against the cartels. She's had a hit out on her. Again, she's lucky she's been alive this long because she's had a hit out on her since about the 80s. She's had a hit out since the fucking,
They had a couple 80s. Million on her head.
Yeah. Actually, now I'm reading something. Her son, Michael Corleone Jr., he's actually alive. But yeah, she was in Colombia and some people rolled up on her on some motorcycles, just straight up gangster style, man. She lived a gangster lifestyle. You
live by the gun, you die by it.
Yeah, and her thing, again, the crazy thing about her when you watch these documentaries, when you watch Cocaine Cowboys 1 and 2, all these other guys were about their money, pretty much. Like, she was just about the killings. So fucking crazy.
Yeah, man, I saw it and I was like, well, there goes that. I mean, you had to have known. I mean, it sounds a little insensitive, but nah, you know, actually, don't fuck her, man. She killed, like, she was responsible for a lot of deaths on some just ruthless ass shit. You know what I mean? So, what was she? 60 something, right?
69.
69.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect age. Well, she looked like a dude. They showed her picture on CNN, and I had to double take until they put the little caption underneath. I was like, who the fuck is that? Because it looked like a fat, like, Hispanic dude.
Yeah, she was she's always looked like that since the 80s. This bitch is stuck in the 80s. Pretty much. And yeah,
and I didn't see the second one, but wasn't that dude, like, wasn't she fucking with a black dude?
Yeah, but he was doing that for the connect. He was straight up doing that for the... He's lucky.
He was taking one for the team.
Yeah, he took one for the team for the millions. I mean, he was lucky. Like I said, I'm reading right now again. She actually lost 3 of her 4 sons were murdered while she was in prison. She did 20 years in prison here. And she actually lost 3 of her 4 sons. Like, this shit took a toll on her. But yeah, that's the karma. That's pretty much karma.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you guys, that's like our extra Netflix recommendation of the week. Check out Cocaine Cowboys 1 and 2. I like the first one. I didn't see all the second one. I got bored with it. But the first one is definitely better.
Yeah, the first one's a classic.
Yeah. So, Danny, I'm going to let you talk about this because personally I don't know a whole lot about it, and more importantly, I don't really give a fuck about what Rihanna wants to do.
Man, I ain't going to spend a lot of time on this one neither, but we spoke about it last week. We're talking about reboots again, and they're talking about doing a reboot to Scarface, a remake is what they're calling it, to Scarface, and for some reason, Rihanna wants to play the character played by Michelle Pfeiffer, Elvira Hancock.
I can't remember. Does Al Pacino put hands on her in the movie? She's perfect for that.
Yeah. He grabs her up in the restaurant scene.
Oh, hey.
In the restaurant scene,
she already knows what to do in that situation.
I said I will personally report every one of the fucking links to this movie. If she is in this, when this shit leaks, I will report every link if she is in this fucking movie. Like,
she's gonna be terrible.
Even the fact that they're remaking the movie again, it's from what I'm seeing, they're saying it's a new take on the movie, so it won't be just a straight up remix or whatever the movie. It might be with a whole new type of stuff. But again, it's fucking Scarface, man. Leave it alone. But why Rihanna would want to play Elvira, I don't know. Again, it's not a race thing. Like, I've never seen Rihanna acting or whatnot.
I don't want to see Rihanna.
But I'm pretty sure she's horrible at it.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I don't.
Did you watch that Battleship movie, bro?
Yeah, she was in that Battleship shit. I mean, that's a good movie.
Bro? That shit look corny as fuck.
I liked it, man, but that's not the topic.
I didn't see it, but
I wasn't paying much attention to her, but she had a little small part and she did okay at it, I guess.
So yeah, I pretty much said, if there's any rappers in this fucking movie, I ain't watching it.
It's just gonna be like Belly.
I'm not. Oh man.
But not as good.
Yeah, I'm not watching this. So
it's gonna have DMX.
Fuck that. That's all I'm gonna say. But that's all I'm about saying. They're about to bastardize Scarface for us.
Fuck that shit. Remake that movie.
Yeah, definitely. That's the best word for it too. It's the best word for it. So let's go ahead and Danny, let's hop on to Geekset Empire. I think we're gonna do our money dues this week, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go ahead and go first on this one.
And I went first. Wait, did I go first last time? Or you just need more time?
Yeah. I'm gonna let you go ahead and go first. I want to see what angle you're gonna take on this one.
Oh, all right. I always be coming out with some sideways shit. But for my money dude is handling all my money. We talked about him before on the show. It's gonna be Sam Rothstein from Casino. Nice. I know he's a simp. I understand. He's not really making any decisions here. But if you think about what his main job was in that movie, he ran the casinos, all the money, he really controlled all that. Dude was a fucking genius when it comes to stuff like that. And it's gonna come in handy later. This dude's cleverness with money and things like that, with the books and things like that, is why I picked him. He's not really making any decisions, like I said. So his whore of a wife or whatever the fuck she was doesn't really have any influence on him. But dude was just really good with money, and I hate to be racist, but his character was Jewish, so you already know how that goes with them and money.
The Jew man.
What's that?
I said the Jew man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, dude ran a casino, so your money gotta be tight, and he worked for the mob, so your money gotta be extra tight when you're dealing with large sums. Dude was just smart when it comes to just all things numbers. So that's my my financial guy, my treasurer, my money dude is Sam Ace Rothstein from Casino.
So you went major. I thought we were going a little bit low. I went a little bit lower with my guy. My guy's a little bit. I mean, he's well known or whatever. I went with Silvio, Tony Soprano's right hand man from The Soprano. I mean, Silvio pretty much ran. I mean, he ran the strip club, and he was the right hand man. There was really never much fuck up with money. Although Tony was kind of tight, he kept some money at his house or whatnot. But Silvio just ran shit. Like whenever Tony wasn't around, Silvio was he's level headed. You see what I'm saying? Like he's not gonna fuck around and do some crazy shit with your money. He's gonna be level headed about it. He was a real humble dude, which is another thing. You know, you don't want, fuck I said, you don't want Tony Soprano running your money. I mean, not Tony Soprano. Sorry, you don't want Tony Montana running your fucking money. He's gonna be copping tigers and whatnot. Like Silvio, I mean, like I said, Silvio always level-headed, still gangster all the way, gangster all the fucking way. If he had to pop somebody, he would. He popped Adriana. I don't know if I ruined that for anybody, but he popped Adriana. And the man was a smart man, level-headed, and a gangster. And I think all around he would work good as a money man.
That's cool. I like the mob angle that you got on that one. I've been going for more like the only like really dude that looks like he could be a gangster that I have on my crew is Jax.
Yeah, you've been keeping it low key with your guys.
Yeah, that's kind of me. I'm a low key kind of, but I mean when we start talking about what we're doing business wise, it kind of makes sense. I still got to figure out some kinks how I'm gonna fit some shit in, but I'll bullshit something. I'll make it sound good. That's what I do. But so I guess next week we're gonna start knocking off on our muscle dudes, right? Because I think we pretty much had all of our top guys. So we got like 4 enforcers that. Oh no, I take that back. We got our boss is like bodyguard, head enforcer type guy, whatever. And then we'll move to our regular old soldier enforcer type dudes.
This is gonna be my personal favorite right here. The secondary.
What's that?
It's gonna be my favorite segment, the secondary enforcers.
Man, next week I'm gonna come out with some shit that's really gonna make y'all like cock your eyebrow up when I come with my bodyguard dude. But I got a good reasoning for it. But that'll be next week. So Netflix recommendations. You got anything for us this week, Danny?
Yeah, I started watching something. You guys know how I do. I started watching some shit and I OD on it. I started watching something yesterday called The Event. It's a mini series. Only first season is on there, 20 episodes or whatever. I'm already like on episode 12 or 13. But fucking The Event basically deals with a plane crashes in Alaska in the 1920s or 30s, and there's aliens on the plane. The aliens are pretty much human beings, but their DNA differs from us only 1%. But that 1% allows them to do crazy shit or whatever. And it has a Lost feel to it. Like, it really has a Lost angle to it. They're always at going back 5 years, going forward a year. There's a lot of character development in it. Definitely action in it. The president in the movie is a Cuban American dude, which again is just totally wild. And it's a really, really good fucking show. And another one of those little gems that you can only find on Netflix. It's called The Event. There's 1 season, 20 episodes. I definitely recommend you watch it. And leave us some comments about what you think about it.
Prince, you got anything that you want to put the people on?
Yeah, I have this movie called Exam. I think it dropped in like 2009 or whatever. It's basically about these 8 candidates. They got picked to work for this company. And they're all sat into this little room like they're about to fucking take SATs or something. And then I guess there's a guy called the Invigilator. He comes in, asks them a question. Like, hey, do you guys have any questions about your position for this job? And he just leaves the fucking room. And then he has a timer up there that says like 80 minutes or whatever. And they have a guard in there, and they're told they can't communicate with the guard. They have papers in front of them that says candidate 1, candidate 2, etc. They told they can't spoil their papers. So if they like try to write on it or do something crazy with it, then they are kicked out of the room. So they're all trying to figure out what the question is. They're like trying to use black lights to look at the paper and all this crazy shit. And of course, if you're locked in a room with all those people for 80 minutes, there's going to be some turning on each other. That goes down throughout the course. And it's just a real crazy plot twist at the end. I can't really say too much about it because it's going to have you on the edge the whole time.
I can co-sign this. I've seen this. It's really, really fucking crazy.
For real, I'm going to have to watch this shit. Sounds fucking crazy.
Yeah,
That's a good movie.
So what's it called? The Exam?
Yep.
It's called Exam, yep.
Okay, cool. For mine this week, I talked about it a little bit last week, but this is like one of my favorite shows on TV, and I got hyped as fuck when I saw it on Netflix. It's Dual Survival. I'm a little disappointed they only have 10 episodes on Netflix, but hopefully more come, because they have a lot of stuff from Discovery Channel in there. But for those of you that don't know, it's 2 survival experts that are like total opposite of each other. One dude is he was in the army for like almost a decade or whatever, and he's like a hunter, big time woodsman, survivalist, so he's kind of modern. And the other guy is a minimalist. He teaches like primitive survival tactics, and the crazy thing about this dude is that he doesn't wear shoes at all. No matter where they're at, the only time that he wears anything over his feet is when they're in the mountains, like in the snow, and he wears like 2 pairs of socks. And he always wears shorts. But it's really cool. They put themselves in scenarios that would really help somebody if you're stranded somewhere, what to do. But on top of that, their dialogue between each other, how their 2 styles contrast to each other, where one's modern, one's primitive, and then how they help each other out. Like, their teamwork is exceptional. But it's just interesting. Like, if you want to see different types of climates, different types of things, and just learn shit about the environment, it's great if you live in the city, you've never really been out in the woods or anything like that, or you just want to learn some stuff. It might not help you, but it's definitely interesting to watch. I mean, these niggas be eating bugs. They kill their own food out there and stuff like that. I actually like this a little bit better than Man vs. Wild. I'm not sure why, because Man vs. Wild is a really good show, but this one, I don't know, has more of a human feel to it. I guess maybe because it's 2 people and they, like, want some teamwork type shit. But it's really cool. Dual survival. So check it out, yo. So, anybody, Prince, you got any shout outs, man?
Roll Tide, man.
Hey, y'all play today?
We play some little team. It's not a big deal.
Oh, weird.
But Roll Tide, go Ravens. All my military people.
Yes.
All of them. Air Force, Army, all of that.
Alright, cool. Danny, you got any?
Yeah, before I give shout outs, I just want to remind everybody next week is our 10th episode. We're going to be streaming live on Ustream. We're actually going to work on the behind the scenes things as soon as we're done recording right now, but it's pretty much going to be on Ustream. We're actually giving our giveaway. Judd had reminded me, we do have Apple fans that listen to us because
you have to laugh like that, though.
And you know, we changed the giveaway a little bit. We are going to be giving away iTunes gift card also. So if you guys aren't following us on Ustream, same as here, you can go to ustream.tv and look up Geekset Radio, and you'll see our logo. Follow us on Ustream. We're going to be blasting the link all over the place on Twitter, over the Kali.com. We're going to be blasting the link really big so you can have a chance to win one of the 3 cards. Remember, you have to be following us on Twitter to win one of the cards. You have to post in our thread at the-kali.com to win the other card, and to win the last card, you have to be listening to us on Ustream. So we are going to be doing our first live episode on Ustream next Saturday. The announcement for the time, we will make it Monday morning, what time it's going to be, but it should fall around this time, between 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. And as far as shout-outs, I mean, like always, I'll give a shout-out to Prince for coming on today with us. Give a shout-out to everybody over at the Kali. Shout-out to all our Twitter listeners. Shout-out to all our fans who had difficulty listening to Episode 8. We had storage issues going on with Podmatic because we have become, thanks to you guys, we have become so popular that we finished the bandwidth in like a week or two over at Podmatic. But I was able to kind of circumvent that issue. I put the video up on YouTube. The episode 8 is now live on Podmatic, and your stream is now live on Stitcher. So shout out to you guys for holding through with us, and just shout out to everybody who's been listening to us this whole time, man.
Yeah, definitely. Like always, excuse me. Shout out to the Kali. Shout out to everybody that's been listening. Y'all helped us kill our bandwidth, so that's a great problem to have. I'd rather have that than nobody listening to our asses. But other than that, shout out to my man, to my homeboy Nate from my jiu-jitsu class from ACA. He went out to Philly and competed at the Good Fight, which is a grappling tournament, and he won his weight class out there. So shout out to him. Shout out to my other 2 teammates who wrecked shit up in Montreal at the Montreal Open. So shout out to all my teammates with that. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to you, Prince, for coming through, man. I appreciate you.
Yep.
All my tech heads out there, keep us in the loop, guys. There's something that y'all want us to talk about. You guys got feedback, whatever. Danny dropped our Twitter. It's at Geekset Radio. You guys can email us, thegeekset@gmail.com. We all have our individual Twitters. You can find Danny at Newark Hip Hop. You got something for Prince, you can hit him at Prince Bama. You can hit me at I Give Zero Fucks. That's with 2 Ks. So for everybody out there, everybody listening, keep your heads up and all that. Stay on this tech grind like always, because you know we're going to be there. So for everybody listening, for Danny, for Prince, I'm Judd. This is Geekset Radio, and we're out.